Hey guys, I'm going to be doing a pretty simple makeup look for you. This is my go-to for every kind of Saturday morning before I run errands. So first I started off with having coconut oil on my skin. I usually moisturize with that at night and in the morning. So I've got that prepped on my skin. Taking my Nars Pure Radiant Tinted Moisturizer in the shade Alaska, combined with my Nars Illuminator and the shade Copcabana. And I'm pushing that into my skin with my beauty blender, which is what I always use for practically every foundation. So I'm now taking my e.l.f. 16-hour Camo Concealer with matte finish. This is in the shade Light Sand. So I'm just taking my 16-hour concealer and kind of working it underneath my eye in a V shape. And I'll drag that excess product to the side of my nose, towards my upper lip a little bit. And then I'll take my number 7 translucent powder and I'll bring it up the side of my nose even when I'm not contouring, because I notice it just adds more definition to my nose without the darker shade there. So it's just an easy way to kind of add more definition to your nose, and on the tip of my nose and in the center. Kind of like a lazy way to contour your nose. So I'm going to be taking now my SMASHBOX Cali contour kit. I'm going to be using the matte bronze shade. I'm using that above my cheekbones, right underneath my cheekbones, my forehead, my jawline. Not getting too crazy with the contour today. Now I'm going to be taking my Jaclyn Hill palette. I'm going to start off with the shade Silk Cream, and I'm just going to be using that in the crease. Next, I'm going to be taking the shade Pookie, I believe it's called, and I'm just going to be taking that right underneath the shade we just put in the crease. Now I can't really see what I'm doing here, but I believe I'm taking Central Park now, and I'm working that into the outer corner of my eye, and this is just going to give the look more depth. Okay, so now my favorite part, we will be taking all of the shades that we just used on the eye and bringing them below. So we're going to take our Silk Cream, our Pookie, and our Central Park on the bottom lid. And then I'm going to be taking my concealer, same concealer we used under the eye, and dotting this in the center of my lid to give a better pigmentation for my shimmer shade. My shade I'm going to be taking is Beam, and I'm just going to be placing it right on top of that concealer. I ended up raising it up a little more than I wanted, so I just went back in with Silk Cream and kind of placed it over the crease some more. Now I am prepping my lashes for my mascara. I use a number 7 full 360 lash. I love this brush because it holds the curl in my lashes better than any mascara I've ever tried. And you can just find it at Target. Pretty cheap. I think I spent like $7-8 for this. And after I apply my mascara, for me it is the prime time to do a winged liner. The flare of my lashes just kind of provides almost like a guide to how to wing out my liner. So for me, it's the easiest time to do it. I hate doing my liner before I do my mascara because I find it even harder, honestly. So I just cover up any liner that kind of transferred over to my lid with more of the shadow. I'm now taking my false lashes. These are from E.l.f. They are in Easy Elegance. I have to be very careful with my lashes because I do have smaller eyes, so too intense of a lash or too thick of a band can easily overpower my eye and just honestly become very heavy. So I don't know if anybody knows this trick, but to hold the lash better, not only apply the glue to the lash band itself, but I also like to apply a dot on each corner of my eye. So the inner corners, the outer corners. I don't know if anybody else's lashes come off there. It is like so frustrating when you have half the lash band poking you in the eyeball. So it provides extra security, I've noticed. So now I'm just going ahead and brushing off all of that powder we just set our concealer with. So now I'm going to be taking the shade Obsessed from the same palette I just used. And I'm just going to be putting this in the inner corners and underneath the brow. Now I'm just going to be taking my Wet n Wild Hello Halo Blush Lighter. It's in the shade I Met Someone. And I'll be putting this on my cheekbones, on the tip of my nose, on my Cupid's bow. And sometimes I'll even take it on the inner corner of my eyes just because I love the pigmentation of this highlighter. I use it in all my reels on Instagram because it is just like gives the skin the biggest pop, and when the natural light catches it, it just exaggerates it even more. And really quick, I'm just taking my Smashbox Cali contour palette again and just reapplying some of the bronzer. I noticed that I brought my concealer down a little far because the bronzer had a hard time kind of going above where the concealer finished, and so I needed a little more. And yeah, that's it. I'll kind of just go over my nose really quick with extra bronzer, just kind of apply more bronzer to my forehead. But that's all, guys. Thanks so much for watching.